Good morning, Rabbi Isai. I gotta do it again then.
Do it again.
That was one of the weakest as of all time. Today is Thursday, the first day of the week before Rosh Hashanah. Every day is a tikkun for the whole year. With a za'ah. I don't know. It's messed up. We're gonna have to do it again. Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Oh, okay. Good job. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Cheskel what? Stelze von Wannen? Do? Telston. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Stelze and Seltzer. Very stolzy guys. Dear Rebelli, I want to send a heartfelt thank you. Lili Nishmasim Mirosi Rusmas Mordechai. Oh, at least that, you holding cup.
No, it wasn't me.
I want to send a heartfelt thank you for your hard work and dedication. I like this email only because from where he's from. Making Daf Yomi so enjoyable for learners of all backgrounds. Since I was 11 years old, I wanted to finish Shas with Daf Yomi, but struggled to ever make this goal a reality. I haven't missed the Daf since starting MDY 1 year ago. At the start of medical residency, looking for a way to both stay connected to learning and hopefully achieve this goal. Recognizing that life only gets more busy, so why not start today? I love how you bring sugyas to life by explaining concepts of modern comparison like cars, nursing homes, apartments with phenomenal illustrations. But as a Jew in Omaha, Nebraska, what keeps me Omaha, Nebraska. What keeps me coming back to your shir is the spark of connection I feel when you greet guests. Oh, Stolzer, what's the name? Yecheskel, go to Rabbi Cheskel. I feel when you greet guests and read emails, sponsors, even sponsors, he says. Can't make this up. As every so often, it's from someone I've known over the years. The sense of achdus helps remind me that we can always connect to each other through Torah, no matter the location. Keep up the excellent work. Sincerely, Yoni Hershkovitz, Omaha, Nebraska, Kiddushin Daf Chof Ches. Another Chof Cheser. The whole shir started in Daf Chof Ches and Avodah Zarah. We have better cornfields. P.S. We have better cornfields in Nebraska compared to Iowa for the next time it comes up in the sugya. Here's somebody that says that. Oh, he showed this to me. You're a Shalmi guy. He watches the shir. He met him in a place. He took a video of him, but he obviously refused that we should show it. He brought tears to his eyes. That is Dave here? I read an email yesterday from David Shukran, who wants to thank you, Dave, in Hebrew, for doing what you do and uploading to WhatsApp, which is also, what's his name? Kobe, but Yishkoyach. Another interesting location. L'chvoid Rebelli, I met with Hanan Auerbach in Dallas. He said that he's one of the Asari Rishonim watching the shir on YouTube. Asach Nachas Abba Rennert. This is from the Duvdevani family. I just got this morning. Yonatan Duvdevani had a surgery today to take out a plate of metal from his hand after he had some broken arm or something. So before the surgery, he's learning the daf, and afterwards he's doing chazara and akoinus. You could see the plate of metal in the picture which they took out of his hand. Oh, I see in the plastic bag. There's a piece of metal there. I got it. The staff were very moved by him learning so they asked that the Rav, I don't know who the Rav is, the Rav of the Shir should daven for them. Interesting. Okay. There's a regards from my Zayda, Reb Mordechai Savitsky, says that it's for the Teil Satzibur in Hebrew, that the Milo of this he's saying on his own, the Milo of Aser Simei Tshuva, Reb Chaim Moses says that if you don't have a minion, Aser Simei Tshuva, an individual is like a minion. So, Reb Osher David Mai of Muncie heard from my Zayder Reb Mordechai Savitsky, Zeichet Tzadik Bracha, that he brought down the name of Ziknei Vilna, or Gdoili Lita, that Aser Simei Tshuva, the Maila of an individual so strong that he could even say Yud Gimel Midas B'Yichidus. Zchusim Toiva, Avram Yitzchok, Yerom, Chestnut Ridge, New York. And he says, this person says that maybe it's worth mentioning the Maharsha on today's Daf and Tzadik Aleph and Bava Basra. The Misrachitz Alein Delay de Lahain. The Maharsha explains that if you start showing off to the Goyim with nice houses, cars, etc., the outcome will be that they'll take it away from you. As I said to Maharsha. And here, I guess this is a restaurant. I don't know if this is an ad for the restaurant, but it doesn't really matter. If they're showing the shear, I don't care where, then it's kedai to mention it. Yeshivas MDY in Lakewood, it says over here. Shalom Burstein. Okay. Tailam is eating. What are they eating over there? Looks good, Granda. The Koil of the month. Binyomin Rosenfeld for hatzlacha in business. The Masechta for a safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnassa B'revach Yosef. Parnassa myself and Dr. Moshe Tzvi Dauber and Abba Rennert, who we just saw a picture of. Here, let's go back to the picture. Let me show you what he looks like. Abba Rennert is the one on the right. He usually doesn't wear that cap, but I guess he's in Dallas. You have to wear a cap in Dallas. And matching Rev Eli's donation of Chayalim for the month. Parnassa Binyomin Rosenfeld for the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnassa Shavua. In honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman and Fishel. It should be zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga. Shidduch for Yehudit, Zechrya, and thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky for selflessly giving up her husband for the klal. Should be zechus for a year filled with Mazel, Bracha, hatzlacha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Amen. Parnassa Yomi, Refuah Shalayma for Risa Gittel Bas Malka, young wife and mother to 3 boys. Did she have a surgery yesterday? What we davened for? No. What? Different name. What was the name? That would be unbelievable if you remembered. Zechaya Hanikman and Peretz Chaim Levin Lilu Nishmas, our grandmother. Rishka Bas Eliezer, Rose Hanikman, and our aunt Yitka Bas Yerucham HaKoyen on the yard sides and the yard side of the September 11th Kidnovations. Janet Chessel. Janet Chessel. Who's Janet Chessel? No?
I don't know.
Mike Chessel's wife. You don't know Mike Chessel, the guy from the Everglades. Mike Chessel from the Everglades. For Refuah Shalayma, for Michael Yecheskel Ben Chaya Masha Rivka was having knee surgery today. This looks like a long one. Oh. The MDY, Borg Dynamics, regret to share that our dear MDY Chaver, Morty Rubin, is sitting Shiva for his sister, who was Nifteres, after being ill for some time, very young. Morty was just here last week to visit her. As Rebelli mentions, that's myself, I guess, Morty volunteers lots of his time, tech graphics, talents to MDY, which we saw in the booklet he made for our trip, as well as the schedule. Unbelievable. He wrote a book this thick on all the Gdolim with Divrei Torah and the whole thing. Bekitzer, he's sitting Shiva. I'm not going to say the number here, but he's sitting in Borough Park on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. What? If you want, yeah, we'll reach out to somebody. We'll say for whatever. We'll give you the number. Parnassa Yomi. Lila Nishmas Fegemiro Bas Avraham, the Parnassa Chodesh for the art. Yishkoyach, you know who you are. I don't know if he's here today. He was here yesterday. For zchus, for Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable, so many. What am I showing here? Okay, we go weiter. Zok the Heilige Gemara. Daf Tzadik Gimel. Mark, we'll put that in, and we'll do it official. Tzadik Gimel Amud Aleph. Toshma. Sure, you could think about it. A lot of us here in the room or watching have not been in the same position we are today. In other words, this might have been the first month or week or half a year or year that you're learning Torah b'kfiyas every single day. It's a tremendous thing. Something you could say to Rebbeinu Shalom in your tefillas. You're trying. You're better this year than you are. Yishkoyach dersh koil. For a big favor that you did. I'm not going to say what it was, but a tremendous favor that you did for me. Shkoyach. Toshma Shoshanogas Apara V'nimtza Ubra B'tzida, the famous case. We're talking about this pasuk right over here. Loisia Achrei Rabim Lerois V'lisana Riv Lintois Achrei Rabim Lahatois. The Torah says that we go with the majority. So we have a machlokes, is that across the board in every situation, or only when it comes to Isser, when it comes to meat, when it comes to other things, kashrus? But maybe when it comes to a monetary dispute, we don't go with the majority. Or maybe we do. Shmuel says we do not go with the majority, and we pass like him. And Rav says we do. So Tashma. We had a cow, a dead cow, and here we even have a new video of this exact same thing. I might have shown the other one yesterday. Supposed to be funny. That's it. So the question is: was this calf born beforehand or after? Is it a result of the injury, or perhaps the mother gave birth to this calf and it was having a really bad day, gave birth to a nafel, and then a minute later it died from a different injury? Nothing to do with the death of the calf. We have this pasuk. The pasuk says that the first 3 times an ox gores, causes damage, you only pay half. Now, you have two cows here. On the mother, what do? He only pays for half. Pay for half. But on the calf, we don't know if he has to pay or not. It's possible he doesn't have to pay at all. It's possible that the calf died before his ox. The owner of the ox came and gored a cow. For the cow that he gored, he has to pay 50%. That the Torah says, we know that he gored. By the way, how do we know he gored? Were there Eidim there? No. If there was Eidim, we wouldn't have a Shiloh. So, he's the only one around. We had a cow that was alive a minute ago, cow that's dead now. So it's like a real umdana. It's pasha that he did it. Okay.
It's chazaka, that's what it is?
Yeah. The Gemara is going to call it a chazaka, really. So, what about the calf? The calf, it's possible he doesn't owe 1 dime, and it's possible that he does owe. But on the tzad that he owes, how much do you have to pay? So first, typically a tam, the gorer, only has to pay 50%. If it was 100% that he did it. But since it's only a 50-50 if he did it, so he only pays a quarter of the calf. Of the mother, 50%. Sumchas holds that, we said, Maman hamutal b'safek chalkim. Since we don't know if the bad guy, the bull, gored the animal or did not, so it's a suffix. This is a true suffix, as the Rashbam explained yesterday, explains again today. No one knows the real truth. The owners don't know what happened. Bezin doesn't know. So it's a real suffix, 50-50. But on the 50, he only has to pay 50%. Because it's a tam, so it's only a quarter. As the Gemara, according to you, Rav, who says that when it comes to monetary disputes, we go with the majority. There's a roiv over here. Most cows. How long is a cow pregnant for, a boisai? Anybody remember?
9 months.
9 months. Very good. 9 months. Most cows deliver full term. 9 months. Vaha. So how come this cow over here delivered when it was 6 months pregnant or whatever, early? Don't we have a roiv? The roiv tells us most cows deliver on time. So let's go with the roiv and say that the owner of the bull has to pay full price, or at least 50%. Says Gemara, no. Hasa mishum demesapkilon. We have a true suffix over here. On top of the roiv, you're right, roiv would work, but we have a different suffix. We have a suffix if we even have a roiv. Why? It's possible that the cow saw the bull charging her right before it happened. She saw the whole thing happening in front of her eyes. She got so scared that she, miscarried the calf. Here we have a gewaldige video of a cow getting scared. A true story. Here it is. Rabbi Yosef. You're going to want to watch it again, I think. It's gewaldig. Check out the right corner, top right corner. Here we go. You think the Gemara makes this stuff up? Here it is. And this is also based on my story where I brought a horse into the Camp Maris bunk to wake up my roommate Remy Menison. This is also a Mazel Shahaya. The shaking part is mamish true. He shook like that for a minute. If you scare your friend like that, you potter. You potter Medina Shamayim, Medina Adam. Medina Shamayim is a different story. There's no questions and videos. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You get once a week now. Once a week. I got to show this again. Hold on a second. This is very important. A giant cow, 2,000-pound cow. What's your question? But tomorrow, that's it. It's today.
If he has to pay for the cow, the quarter, then does it count as a second thing to add to the tom and towards the one? No.
Why not?
Because the second, he killed two.
No. It's one. It was only one goring. Killed two in one goring. Okay, good question. I forgot to say, very, very important. Super important. Over 350 English speakers joined the shir yesterday. Over 350 and 142 that I know of from last night in Hebrew. The problem is, and I feel bad, so I got to say this. The 350 locked out the group. It filled up. There's 2,000 people in that WhatsApp group, and I guess more people want to join. So if you try to join yesterday, please try again. There's another link. There's another WhatsApp group. It's a tremendous time to join the group. It's a tremendous time to join the shir. Erev Rosh Hashanah. We need zchusim. Nothing like the zchus HaTorah, the biggest gula. It's a lot better than going to any caver, to wearing any bracelet on your arm. Torah is Torah. It's the biggest gula. The best is gula. See link below. Okay, gewaldig. Zok the Gemara. Vigla Meimar, Ma'chayra also. Maybe she never saw him coming. So in the actual miscarriage, we don't know how it happened. It might have happened from a complete scare, and then the owner would be potter to pay for that miscarriage, or perhaps not. Maybe he was able to get her without her even noticing. She was never scared, and she miscarried, and therefore he's chayav. And this is zechus halacha, that when we have a true suffix, not that Bezdin doesn't know because there's an argument between the Bali Dog. No one in the world knows what happened, therefore cholkim. So this machlokes that we have of Rav and Shmuel, whether or not we say mammon roiv by mammon, do we say by a dispute, a monetary dispute, do we go by the majority? Leimik tanoi, perhaps it's a machlokes tanoi. Typically, when there's machlokes tanoim, the Amoraim, like Rav and Shmuel, wouldn't argue it. I don't know that that's what's bothering the Gemara so much, but let's say there's machlokes tanoim here. Same exact machlokes. Shar shayiraya v'nimtza shar harug b'tzidai. There was a bull grazing, minding his own business, eating grass, and sure enough, we see a dead bull next to him. There's a dead bull that has a gore. You see blood is coming out of his neck. There's a hole in his neck from a horn. And this bull that's eating grass, we know his story. This is not the first time, it's not the third time. He's already been doing this. This one got a nice bite on his neck, and this one is a famous biter. Here, I have a gewaldige video. If you didn't see this one, this is also something you have to watch at least twice. This is somebody that probably deserved it. The beginning of it, he tries to shech this camel. He takes a knife, shechs his neck. So the camel got really upset at him. Check this out. He's a noisha. Nachamal, something like this. Grabs him by the head. Okay. So if you have a camel that's a noishach, or he's known to be a noishach, v'zem menushach, v'zem buad lishach, ein oimrim b'yedua shezen agachav v'zen ashachai. Why not? Oh, we don't say he's the one. A minute ago we learned the famous sugya of Shar Shenagach Sapara v'nimsa ubra b'tzida. He's the guy. No Adam. He did it. Says the Rishbam, we must say that there's other bulls all around. There's just one bull that's a muad. No, so now we don't know anymore. Who it could have been him, it could have been him. In the first case, it's obvious, it's only him. There's one dead cow, there's one bull standing around. He's the one that did it. Over here, there's a bunch of them. Okay. Now, this is very important, this thing. Check this out. No, not this one. Well, what?
How does that add to the suffix?
What? Which part?
If it was just one, if just he was there with the part, it would say Mamanamuto B'Safek Yachlot.
Yeah.
But it's Mamanamuto B'Safek. You don't know.
Right.
Now, if you add 10 more paros, you still don't know.
Right. But now you have 10 other people to deal with. What are you going to do? The 10 different owners.
Either him or not him.
Why? Any bull could do it.
Right.
Any bull could do it.
He's a muad to do it.
He's a muad, and the other ones are just regular. But they're there. They're grazing. They're all grazing over there. We have no idea. And it's obvious. You want to say, logic dictates that he's the one. He's the culprit. He's done this in the past. A camel that's mating, and the Rashbam says, Mishtageya, the lotion of Mishtagois, Umakim Zchorim Zeh, the males hit each other, they could die from it. Even though this camel is not a muad. But this is a chazaka, this is how they behave. There's a dead camel on the ground. So says Rebecca, there's a chazaka. Here. So if you look at this, Tanakama says there's no chazaka. Rebecca says there's a chazaka. We're not talking about roiv here. We're talking about a chazaka. There's a chazaka, there's this camel. Camels are wild. There's even a word for it in English, rut. I had a video, I didn't put it in, like this foam, white foam comes out of the mouth. They hit everything, they bite everything. You can't control them. So what? Rabbit. Not rabbit. No. This is every year, mating season, whatever. Meshuga. So biyadua shezaraga. Savrua. So we thought the ruba v'chazaka ki hadadininu. This is gewaldig, this chart. Why? Here, check this out. Check what out? I don't know. It's not working. Okay, here. Do this. Okay. Up until now, we're talking about Roiv. Rav says we go with the majority when it comes to Mamonis. Shmuel says we don't go with the majority. Now we introduce a new machlokes. We have a dead camel on the ground here. We have a Meshuggah camel standing next to him. He did it. Chazaka, no chazaka. Machlokes, Tanakama, Ravacha. Check this out. L'chayra, the red goes with the red, the green goes with the green. Yesh chazaka, yesh roiv. Ein chazaka, ein roiv. They should line up. Two concepts in the Torah, the Eraisas, chazaka. This is probably what happened. Roiv, this is probably what happened. We have a majority. These things line up. So let's say that Shmuel holds like the Tanakama, Rav holds like Rav, Ravacha, Gewalt. Leima, Rav Domak Ravacha, Shmuel Domak Tanakama. Amalach Rav, classic Gemara. We're not forced to say that. Why? Amalach Rav always means, I remember my Rebbe in 7th grade in Beis Yitzchak in Skver. he taught this to me. He says, Omar Lach doesn't mean he said it. Omar Lach means he could have said it. He wasn't alive. Had he been here, he could have said it. Omar Lach Rav. I know if anybody went to Beis Yitzchok Square, but I think his name was Rabbi Schwartz, zechroin levracha. Gießen He had a thermos with hot water. You know those old-time thermos, the green ones with the cap. You unscrew, you pour it in. It lasted like today. You have these cups that last for 4 days. That lasted for a few hours. And if you didn't behave, he would pour a hot cup of water through the air. It didn't really hit us. It didn't really burn us. Gießen you would say. That's what happened. He went through the lager. That's how it is. The lager. I know that I feel that kama. Yeah, every Rosh Hashanah I have to ask him mechila. You're right. If you were there in Beis Yitzchak, you know who he is. If you weren't there in Beis Yitzchak, you don't know who he is. In Shalom Yisrael. Hold on a second. I know that I feel that kama. I could hold like this. Oh, so let's do this. Check this out. You have to look at this. It's very cool. The green could hold like the red, and the red could hold like the green. Says Rav, I could hold like the Tanakama says en chazaka. He says like this: Roiv is more powerful always than a chazaka. So that's why the Tanakama says there's no chazaka. But I say there's a Roiv because Roiv is stronger than a chazaka. And I, Shmuel, who says that there's no Roy, we don't go by Roy when it comes to monetary things. I hold even like Revaka that says Yesh Chazaka. Why? Very good. I don't have Revaka. I can call my Revaka awesome. When we're talking about a camel, we're talking about the Baldover himself. Here he is. He has a Chazaka, right? This crazy camel, he has a Chazaka. We're talking about a general. What's our case of Roy? Think about it. I bought a cow. I bought a bull. Did I buy him as a tractor, or did I buy him to eat him? Most of the world buys tractors. Okay, that's the world. That's a general concept of majority. Not this particular cow, bull, not this particular buyer. It's a general rive of the world. That's weak. So when I'm looking at the guy himself, I said, he's a muhzak. He already killed 3 animals. This exact animal, or this camel, when he's going crazy, he's a chazaka on him. So that's why Ravaka says, yeah, we go with the chazaka. But it's possible, in Shmuel's case, where we're talking about the chazaka of the entire world, maybe it's a little bit easier. Tashma. This is our Mishnah. Finally, we got. Why do we have this whole sugya? Because we learned in the Mishnah, the beginning of Amoicher Peretz, Daf Tzadik Beis Amud Aleph, that if you buy seeds and you planted them and nothing grew, do you have a tain on the seller? Most people buy it for planting, not for eating. Even flaxseed. Einoi chayev b'achrayuson. You're not chayev and achrayus. It says over here like tzamchu. This is a story where a king wanted to give over his kingdom, his how do you say? King, his melucha. Kingship. Wanted to give over his kingship to one of. He didn't have children. He wanted to give it over to one of his advisors or whatever. So he said, "Listen, each advisor, take this bean. Whoever can grow this bean, the highest, the largest." He wins, he becomes the king. So the day comes, and they all walk in with their pots and this giant stalk. And one Mazel comes with a pot and nothing in it. Nothing. So the king says, what's this? He says, nothing grew. I tried, it didn't grow. So the king says, oh, you're the king. I'm giving it to you. Why? So all these guys are liars. I gave everybody cooked beans. Can't grow. So what did they? They all replaced it. You're the only honest guy. Give it to you. What's the Musar Haskell? I have no clue. Each one put it in. It has something to do with the daf. Zechurya. I don't know what.
Don't lie about who you are.
Be real. Be real. And when you're real, because Baruch Hu appreciates it. Givaldik.
What we say. I only learn. Don't lie about who you are. Learn the daf. That's what we say. That's the most.
It's pasnished. I'm going to learn from this guy without the beard. I'm shaking it, whatever. I only learned. Okay. Yeah, be real. Tanoi says the Gemara. Oh no, sorry. Mayafilu. Afilu zera pishton the rubel is riyazavni. Our Mishnah is exact opposite of Rav, and in fact, it is. Even though most people, I want to stop here for a second because we're going to have this in the Gemara. Let's do a little bit of a thing together here. Shalom Aleichem, Manishma. Flaxseed. If you had to guess, how many people in the world eat flax seeds?
Very high fiber, extremely healthy. It's considered magic food.
Magic food. We have a bunch. Right. Anybody else here want to throw themselves? Okay. Yeah. No. So I want to know like this. Most of the seeds of the world, are they planted or do they go in salads? Not okay. So this is a real question. So Dr. Epstein agrees, most of the seeds of the world are planted. Now, most of the people that plant, how many people plant versus the people that actually eat them in their salads? What's more? People that eat in the salad or people that plant? Eat. Givaldic. So you see what's going on here? We have a big problem. More people eat the seeds than plant the seeds, but more seeds are planted than eaten. So do we go by the seeds? Do we look at the seeds? Hey, these seeds are seeds. You said it, not me. Here, Yoshi made a beautiful chart for it, in fact. Here, check this out. We have majority of people on the top right and very few people on the left. These are the planters, the farmers of the world. So check out what happens. Very few seeds go for many people, and a lot of seeds, most of the seeds go for the few people. There's two roivs going on here. There's the roiv people of the world that eat very little of the seeds, but they're the majority of the world. You all scream out, eat! But it's only a small, very few seeds goes in the salad. But a lot of seeds go for planting flax. So which roiv do we go? Okay, just wanted to see that you're on the same page with me. Zog the Gemara. It says in the Mishnah, I bought the seeds and it didn't work, didn't grow. And if I have these cabbage seeds, no one in the world puts these in their salad. It's 100% for planting. So therefore, in case you guys are, we don't really have time for this. Do it quick. There's a cabbage seed. One cabbage seed. How many days does it take to grow a full-grown cabbage? Look at the top left. It's not stam. Okay, there's a cabbage. The seed, 100 days. So, because it's 100% for planting and it didn't work, the guy that sold you the seeds must pay you back. I have a question, Stam. You bought $100 worth of seeds. No. No one eats them. Not the flax seeds. No one eats these seeds. Rabbi say, question. You purchased $100 worth of seeds. You spent $1,000 on employees and fuel and tractors and equipment to plant those $100 worth of seeds. Nothing came out. You go back to the guy, you say it didn't work. So he pays you $100 for the seeds. Does he have to pay you $1,000 for your work? You lost time. You say no. Drama. I hear.
It's like if you take out an ad.
Oh. You hear the Talmud Chacham, Reb David. Did he know that they were bad? He's asking a very good question. I'll get to it soon. He's asking, did he know that they're bad? It's a big enough community. Yeah, what are you saying?
If you take out an ad in a magazine that's coming out for Pesach, and then the magazine only gets to the country after Pesach.
Yeah.
And you lost all of whatever you were planning on banking on, people to see the advertisement.
Yeah.
So now what? Does the magazine owe you just for the ad? Or
that's a grumsh.
They mafsed you a tremendous amount of money because no one knew about it.
It's not a hefsed. It's a minias revach. It's a minias revach.
Totally relying on
over here. This is a hefsed. He actually worked.
Every year, by the way.
Okay, but that's a minias revach. It's not a hefsed. But okay, anyway. Zera pishton, but we're talking about flax seeds. A lot of people eat flax seeds. So Therefore, the fact that you planted them and it didn't work out for you, it's not my responsibility because a lot of people eat them. I thought you wanted to eat them. I didn't know that you wanted to plant them. So what do we see over here in the Mishnah? We don't go by the majority. Most people plant them. And if most people plant them, you should be chayav b'achar yisrael. You potter. Why? Because I could go with the miyot of the people that eat them in their salad. Rabbi Yossi Omer, noisely dmei zera. Rabbi Yossi says no. Here, let's just keep a cup over here. Three-way machlokes, really. Let's look at it. Tanakama says, I don't care about the majority, therefore, I don't have to pay. Rabbi Yossi, which we just read, we go with the majority. We go with the Rav. Who does that line up with the machlokes we just said? Rav and Shmuel. This goes like Rav. Rav says we go with the majority, and therefore, you have to pay. You asked me a question. Rav doesn't fit into the Mishnah. You're right, he doesn't fit into the Mishnah. He goes very well with Rabbi Yossi. He has another Tana called Rabbi Yossi. Yishal mi lismoich. Amrulai, there's a third opinion called, we'll call it the Amrulai opinion. They say there is a Rav, just like Rabbi Yossi. Just they say there's a Rav, but you don't have to pay. Why? There's a lot of stuff you can do with flax seeds. You can make oil, flaxseed oil. Use it for, the Rashbam says use it for medicine. So, in general, we'll go with the Rav. Rav works. Not in this case. Why? Because I don't know what you wanted it for. You bought flaxseed. You weren't specific with me. I thought you wanted it for medicine. The Gemara says we have a machlokes here, and we have a machlokes. Do we go with the Rav or not? So let's take a look at the chart for a second. Who's arguing here? I think this chart helps a lot because when you read it, well, let's read it inside. See if you know what's flying here. Mantanoi. If you're going to say it's Rabbi Yossi and Amrulai, Tarvayu Basra Ruba Azli. They both go. Don't look at the chart, Mendy. They're both going with the Rav. Marazal Basra Ruba didn't you? Marazal Basra Ruba. Ella says the Gemara. Itanakama Rabbi Yossi must be the Tanakama Rabbi Yossi argue. Itanakama Amrulai next sugya. But if we have a chart, it's very very simple. We have the Tanakama says we don't go with the Rav. We have Rabbi Yossi and Amrulai. They both say we go with the Rav. Does Rabbi Yossi and Amrulai argue? They argue at the outcome. In this case, if you have to pay or you don't have to pay. But in terms of do we go with the Rav, they both say we go with the Rav, green. So, this cannot be that they argue. There's no argument here. So where is the argument? Between red and green. It could be the red with the first green, it could be red with the second green. That's the argument. No Rav and yes Rav. Do we go with the Rav? So maybe Shmuel holds like the Tanakama ain't Rav. Rav holds like Rabbi Yossi yes Rav. Or Rav holds like the Amrulai, that Yeshlai. That's it. That's the whole sugya. Sponsors. The Amud Beis, I love this because I could say Balpeh, although I don't have the names of those kidnapped hostages. Huh?
You don't have a paper?
I have it somewhere. It's a long time ago. But I do remember Yaakov Sitron film. And, which reminds me that Yaakov is probably coming to the Shabbaton to remind the Olam that people ask all the time. The Shabbaton is open right now for those that are sponsoring. A bunch of people went in there, bought rooms with a sponsorship. We are looking for people to give us number. We'll do the phone calls. If you have major corporate sponsors, people that you do business with and that could donate, they donate anyway. It doesn't hurt you. Why not? Send in those names, tell us about it, and we'll go after them. Meanwhile, we have about $100,000 so far in sponsorships. I don't have the latest one. Somebody just gave 25 and somebody else is giving, I think, 18. We don't want to lose money. We don't want to make money. Seriously, we don't want to make money. We don't want to lose like we did last year. So we're doing everything very different than last year. We learned a lot. And Be'ez Hashem will be open soon to the public. Like I said then, the first few days is going to be for the people that were there last year. I just threw it out in the middle. I was so makir toiv to all the people that came because it's very difficult to come. A lot of people backed out. They said the war, this, and a lot of them were right. But those who came, I said, okay, because you came and we didn't fall in the hole, $500,000 or whatever it was. So as a zechus toiv, they get first right to the rooms. Somebody just said he wants 30 rooms. I said we have to. Let's see what happens. 30 is a lot. We want to give everybody a chance to come. 25, yes, that I'm asking to. No, seriously. 25, yes. Now he upped it to 30, so I'm like, no, you're going to have to make some phone calls. Okay. Sponsored Li'ili Nishmas, the 6 hostages that were killed like 2-3 weeks ago. What? Tana Rabban. Mao noisenloi. Yeah, a guy gives you a check and the check bounces. The bank charges you $25 fee. Who pays for the fee? The guy that wrote you the check or you? You're going to say Reb David? You're going to say you Reb David, not you Reb David. You. You're going to say it's a grandma? Who pays for it? You don't know. So this Reb David says, and he's saying very good. He says, depends. La halacha, it really does depend. If the guy that wrote the bad check knew he has no money in the account, and he wrote the check anyways, he's chayiv to pay. But if he didn't know, I believe I'm not passing it. Again, I don't pass him this year. I just say what I read, and that's it. He caused you, but it's a cause and it's a grama. So let's say over here. I don't know. Yeah. And what's the difference between grama and garmi? According to Rashi, there's no difference. According to Rashi, there's no difference really.
How do we pass him?
Intent is a major difference.
Yeah, intent.
If he knew it's intent, right?
Right, he knew he's chayiv. I said if he knew he's chayiv. If he didn't know, it's potter.
It was a good chance.
Then you have the famous Maisa with, they say it about a lot of people. I think they say it about the Parnassa B'revach. Somebody, let's say, gave him, $100,000. He comes to the bank and there's no money in the account. So he asked the teller, he says, but what does this person have? The person has $88,000 in his account. He said, okay, here's $12,000 deposit. And then he deposited the check. Okay. I don't know what they say it about. Tana Rabbanan. Mao noisin loy. Now the story makes sense. Mao noisin loy. The Tanakama says $100 for all the seeds, but the $1,000 that you paid for all the workers and the equipment, no. Even the expenses you have to pay. So now we're going to go a little sugya here, easy, but just to figure out who's this Yeshayim. Clue number one, it's Reb Shimon Gamliel. The problem is we need to figure out now which Reb Shimon Gamliel. The Gemara could just go to the end and tell us, but that's the derech of the Gemara. We go through step one. Let's eliminate our Mishnah. Then once we know that, we'll figure out who Reb Shimon Gamliel is. Hey, Reb Shimon Gamliel. Eli Reb Shimon Gamliel the Masnisin, our Mishnah. It's not. You bought seeds, they didn't work. You don't have to pay for it. We're going to skip the parentheses. What about the end of the Mishnah? If you bought cabbage seeds, no one in the world eats them. For that, you have to pay if the guy planted it didn't work. As the Gemara, they're saying the same exact thing. What's Reb Shimon Gamliel in the Mishnah adding? The Mishnah will never repeat itself. So, obviously, they're talking about our machlokes. That's what the Gemara is going to say. The Tanakama talks about flax seeds. That's why you don't have to pay. Why? Because a lot of people do eat flax seeds. So you don't have to pay if you planted it didn't work. I could infer from this that if it's cabbage seeds, you do have to pay. That's the same exact thing as Reb Shimon Gamliel. We must say, since there's a machlokes in the Mishnah, and this is very, very dachuk. This is not simple pshat. There's zero mention in our Mishnah about expenses. It doesn't mention the word expenses. But we have no option here at this point. We have a machlokes, and we don't know what the machlokes is. So let's perhaps say that the machlokes is, do you have to pay for expenses? Mar Sobar, Dmei Zera. Tanakama says, no, you don't have to pay for expenses. Mar Sobar, Reb Shimon Gamliel adds, and he says, you say you don't have to pay for expenses. I'm machmir, and I say you do have to pay for expenses. Otherwise, what else is the machlokes? Says the Gemara, who told you? Maybe it's Reb Shimon. First of all, there's zero mention of the word expense, so we don't know that they're arguing expenses. And there's zero mention of who says what. It doesn't say what Reb Shimon Gamliel holds or what the Tanakama holds. Who told you that Reb Shimon Gamliel is the one that holds they have to pay for expenses? Maybe the Tanakama says you have to pay for expenses. Reb Shimon Gamliel says you don't have to pay for expenses. Says the Gemara, Haloi Kasha, the famous. I love this so much. I could say this every week. One of my favorite all time. But Rebbitzen didn't hear it yet, so you got to say it for him. Somebody asked him a kasha in shir, and he says, that's such a bad kasha, it's not even shtusim. Not even shtusim. And then 2 minutes later, another guy asked him a kasha, he says, oh, that's shtusim. That's shtusim. I know you can laugh at it every time. Nachamo. So the Gemara says, haloi kasha. This is not even a kasha. This is not even a kasha. So the Rashbam says, all over Shas, if it says Holy Kasha, if there's no other question, this is not a question. And if there's another question, this is garnished. Nothing, don't worry about this thing. Holy Kasha, why? Koltana Basra for your milsikasi. If you know how the Mishnayos always work, says the Gemara, the second man the Omer is always the one that's machmir, not the first one. Doesn't make sense. It makes a lot more sense. Like Tanakama says, you don't have to pay. Comes Reb Shimon Gamliel and he adds and he says, you do have to pay. You don't reverse it. That's not the style of the Mishnah. Okay, but I have another problem with this. Who told you that there's a machlokes about expenses? Perhaps the whole Mishnah is talking about Reb Shimon Gamliel. Says the Rosh Hashanah, makes a lot more sense to push and say there's a machlokes and we don't even know the word. The word doesn't even exist in the Mishnah. To say the whole Mishnah is talking about a machlokes that doesn't not even mention in the Mishnah. It's a lot better to say we're missing just a few words. That's a classic. The Mishnah was always written very shorthand, and we'll figure it out ourselves. Rather than saying there's a machlokes in the Mishnah that's not even mentioned, we don't even know what each man Amar says. There's no machlokes at all in the Mishnah. It's one man Amar, his name is Reb Shimon Gamliel. And if there's one man Amar, his name is Reb Shimon Gamliel, then our Mishnah doesn't even talk about expenses. If our Mishnah doesn't talk about expenses, who's the man Amar that says that you have to pay for expenses? The Tanakama says, which is Reb Shimon Gamliel, you don't even have to pay for flax seeds. Divrei Reb Shimon Gamliel. Why? Because Reb Shimon Gamliel continues and he says, because he holds that cabbage seeds you do have to pay because no one eats it, but something that some people eat, you have to pay. So in Mela, we don't have a source for expenses. Ella, so where's Reb Shimon Gamliel talks about expenses? You bring your wheat to the professional grinder that he should make it into flour. He didn't do his job. He didn't add water beforehand to soften it up. And therefore, Vasan Subin, it became bran, or Murson, or some other type of bran. Terrible stuff. I brought it for fine flour, and he made it something else. You bring your flour, your ready-made flour, to the baker and say, please bake me some challah for Yontif. And you come home, and it just falls apart completely. He messed up. I give my animal over to the shoichet, and he ruins it. He makes a treif with the knife. Chayav. He's chayav to pay. Why? He took upon himself responsibility by taking money for this job. He's fully responsible. Says the Rashbam. If he did not take money for the job, like when we went to our neighbor over here, Noam and Avi got me a sheep once for a gift. So after we were done, he gave me the gift, and he made a whole enormous floor that's there till this day. He just went like that. It's funny. A mark.
Not so funny, but yeah.
Now I'm saying this little sheep went like that with its foot. It got nervous. Can't get it out of the tile. So he went to the neighbor, and the neighbor's a shaykhid in his building. Boom. He did the shchita. But it's free, yeah? I don't know. I'm assuming it's free. Maybe not. So, such a case, a guy that doesn't take money for it, that I didn't take responsibility. It happened. Here we go. When you have an embarrassment, I hired you to shech this animal. Because of you, I can't serve meat at my chasana. I have a bar mitzvah, I have nothing to serve. Nothing. Bushas. Maisa Shahaya, with the machlases, there's one of the guests that comes every Shabbos, asked if they could also make the shever brachas there. Sure, bring all your guests, bring that. Shever brachas. Problem is, they forgot to turn the cholent on. Something with the cholent. It happens. Zero cholent. So Mrs. Machlas Aleh Shalom says, Rebbitzen Machlas, what do they call her? Rebbitzen Machlas. She says, well, we have cake. So she sends her kid to bring the cake. And the kid trips, falls into a pile of mud. All the cake is gone. So what would you do? No cholent, no cake. And they're just looking at her. She was calm. And somebody said that they became a Baal Tshuva because of that. Just watching her not lose it with all the bushes v'charpas, all these guests, 50 to 100 guests, I don't know how many they had. Nothing to eat. There's a guy here in Amud Aleph, right here, who did a big simcha. He served blintzes. And the entire simcha, every single person that came to the simcha had to go to the hospital. There was like rotten eggs in the they all went to the hospital, every single one. So the shiloh was, does he have to pay the caterer? So the caterer said, "Don't pay me for the blintzes." No, there's a shaila in the Paiskim. They had to talk about it. You're talking about 20,000 shekel catering. Do you have to pay at all? Every single person went to the hospital, or just not for that item that was spoiled? Okay, but it's a tremendous busha. I sent everybody to the hospital. Imagine. Yeah, I remember your chasana. Yo, how do I remember your chasana? V'chein haya Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer minag gadol haya b'Yerushalayim. There's a tremendous minag. Ha-moiser suda chaveira v'kilkul. If I give the food to a caterer, I hire a caterer and he ruins it. He has to pay for his busha. They also have a certain busha, says the Rashbam. They have no food. We don't really pass it like this. Huh? Yeah, I said and I explained the Rashbam. Busha is busha. I don't know. Another one. It's a big. Grum is a hard sugi to understand. Mapa prusa al petach.
Trump says we're passing he's punching because it's growing.
Oh. Says we don't pass it like that, but it's because of grandma. Very good. The shaila is, why does he say that Yechayev? Like what? You put a nice tablecloth on your door. The Medrash brings this Gemara. The Medrash says that in addition to the actual sheet, there was drawings on the sheet that would say what kind of food was served today. Cholent, steaks, and people would walk by, poor people would knock on the door. If the sheet was there, people would come in. I just want to say a real quick story. A thing from Eliashiv, real quick. It says, we say on Rosh Hashanah, Ka'ani ha'imid be'Pesach. Ka'ani ha'imid be'Pesach. Says Rabbi Eliashiv, what's pshat? He says there's a family eating this suda of shleima milk b'shaita. They have all these salads and fish and chicken and meat and everything, dessert. A knock on the door, comes the ani b'Pesach. Walks in, and the family gives him a piece of meat, and you think he's going to have a taina, but where's my salads? Where's my fish? Where's the gefilte fish? He's so happy. He gave him a geschmack piece of meat. Says Rabbi Eliashiv that the Rambam says it's no. When it comes to tshuva, you have to do 4 things. You have to aziva, you have to leave the avera. You have to charata, regret it. Kabbalah, vidui, Kabbalah Allah asid. You have to say vidui, Kabbalah asid. Says Rabbi Eliashiv, we tell Rebbitzen Stefansky, please act like an ani b'Pesach. If I just give you one of those 4 things, be happy with us. We're not in a majority. We're not holding in all 4. 1. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.